Let's jump right into it. Number 8. Your brain treats every puzzle like a drug hit. When you solve even the simplest crossword clue or fit that perfect puzzle piece, your brain releases a cocktail of dopamine that's chemically identical to what happens when someone takes cocaine. We're not exaggerating here. Scientists have measured the exact same neural pathways lighting up. The only difference is puzzles won't ruin your life, but they can definitely ruin your sleep schedule. This dopamine release isn't random either. Your brain evolved this reward system over millions of years because problem-solving literally kept our ancestors alive. The human who could figure out how to crack open nuts or track animal patterns got to eat and reproduce. The ones who couldn't became evolutionary dead ends. So when you spend 3 hours on a Sudoku, you're basically satisfying the same survival instinct that helped early humans outsmart saber-toothed tigers. Number 7. Puzzles create what psychologists call a flow state, but here's the twist nobody talks about. Most people think flow state is just about concentration, but it's actually about brain temporarily shutting down its anxiety centers. When you're deep in a puzzle, the part of your brain responsible for self-doubt, worry, and existential dread goes completely silent. It's like meditation, except instead of sitting quietly and trying not to think about your grocery list, you're actively engaged in something that forces your brain to focus. This is why people often say puzzles are relaxing even though they're technically challenging. Your brain interprets the focus challenge as a break from the chaos of normal thinking. It's also why puzzle addiction is so common among people with anxiety disorders. They're not just solving puzzles, they're temporarily escaping their own minds. Number 6. The human brain has a bizarre obsession with patterns, and puzzles exploit this weakness ruthlessly. Your pattern recognition system is so powerful that it runs constantly in the background, even when you sleep. It's the reason you see faces in clouds and why that song gets stuck in your head. Puzzles are essentially pattern recognition on steroids. Every crossword clue, every jigsaw piece, every logic problem is your brain saying, I know this pattern exists, I just need to find it. But here's where it gets weird. Your brain actually gets more satisfaction from patterns it has to work for. If someone just handed you the completed crossword, you'd feel nothing. Struggle with that 7-letter word for 30 minutes and finally crack it, and you get a genuine rush. This is called the effort justification effect. Your brain literally values things more when they're harder to achieve, which explains why people get addicted to increasingly difficult puzzles and why easy puzzles feel boring after a while. Number 5. Puzzles give you a false sense of control in a chaotic world, and your brain absolutely craves this illusion. Think about your daily life. You can't control traffic, your boss's mood, global politics, or whether your favorite restaurant is open. But in puzzle land, everything has a solution. Every problem can be solved with enough time and effort. There are rules, there's logic, and there's always a correct answer waiting to be discovered. This predictability is psychologically addictive because real life rarely offers such clear-cut resolutions. When you solve a puzzle, you're not just finding an answer, you're proving to yourself that you can impose order on chaos. It's why people often turn to puzzles during stressful life events like job loss, relationship problems, or global pandemics. The puzzle becomes a safe space where competence and control are guaranteed as long as you're willing to put in the effort. Number 4, your brain has what scientists call a completion compulsion, and puzzles trigger this system like nothing else. This isn't just about wanting to finish things, it's about a deep psychological need to resolve incomplete patterns. The technical term is the Zeigarnik effect, named after a psychologist who noticed that waiters could remember incomplete orders perfectly, but forgot completed ones immediately. Your brain treats unfinished puzzles the same way. A crossword with 3 missing words will literally occupy background mental space until you complete it or consciously decide to abandon it. This is why people lose sleep over puzzles, why they think about them in the shower, and why leaving a jigsaw puzzle half-finished on your dining table is basically psychological torture. Your brain keeps allocating processing power to the incomplete pattern, even when you're trying to focus on other things. It's also why puzzle games on phones are so addictive. They're designed to always leave you with something almost finished, keeping your completion compulsion permanently activated. Number 3. Puzzles provide what psychologists call productive procrastination, and this might be the most devious psychological trick of all. When you're avoiding work, chores, or responsibilities by doing puzzles, your brain doesn't register this as lazy behavior. Instead, it feels like you're being productive because you're actively problem-solving and achieving small victories. This is completely different from mindless procrastination like scrolling social media or watching random videos. Puzzle procrastination feels virtuous because you're exercising your mind, improving your cognitive abilities, and accomplishing something tangible. Your brain gets to have its cake and eat it too, avoiding the thing you should be doing while still feeling intellectually accomplished. It's the perfect psychological loophole, which explains why puzzle apps have become billion-dollar industries built entirely on people avoiding their actual responsibilities while feeling good about it. Number 2, the most surprising psychological factor is that puzzles exploit your brain's social bonding mechanisms, even when you're solving them alone. Throughout human history, collaborative problem-solving has been essential for survival. Building shelters, hunting large animals, and creating tools all required groups of people working together to solve complex complex challenges. Your brain evolved to release bonding chemicals like oxytocin during collaborative problem-solving because groups that enjoyed working together had better survival rates. Modern puzzles hack this ancient system by making your brain think you're collaborating with the puzzle creator. When you solve a crossword, your brain interprets the successful solution as a form of communication with whoever created it. You understood their clues, you followed their logic, and you achieved the outcome they intended. This creates a subtle sense of social connection, even though you're sitting alone in your living room. It's why people develop preferences for specific puzzle creators and why puzzle communities are so passionate and loyal. Number 1. Here's the most mind-blowing psychological truth about puzzle addiction. Your brain doesn't actually want to solve the puzzle. What it wants is to be on the verge of solving it. Scientists have discovered that dopamine levels peak not when you find the answer, but in the moments just before you find it. That feeling when you know you're close, when the solution is right there, when you can almost taste victory, that's when your brain is most chemically satisfied. The actual moment of solving delivers much less neurochemical reward than the anticipation of solving. This is why puzzle designers deliberately create near-miss experiences, why games include hints that put you tantalizingly close to solutions, and why people often feel slightly disappointed immediately after completing a challenging puzzle. Your brain was enjoying the hunt more than the kill. Understanding this explains why puzzle addiction is so powerful and why simply completing puzzles doesn't satisfy the craving. Your brain wants to live in that sweet spot of almost solving, which means the only way to maintain that feeling is to immediately start another puzzle. The cycle becomes self-perpetuating because the brain's greatest pleasure comes from the process, not the outcome. I'll make similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.